My dad drained my dream home savings while I was at work. 3 days after his 60th birthday party, I opened my banking app and saw $0. The week before, that account held $140,312. He laughed and said, "You can earn it back." A week later, police walked into my brother's housewarming and put him in handcuffs. I grew up as the reliable daughter. My younger brother was the one with potential. My parents repeated one rule like scripture: family comes first. Translation: I paid, he received. Over 10 years, I covered roof repairs, tuition gaps, medical bills, and his can't miss deals, more than $87,000 total, while he failed upward and I kept quiet. I was a data analyst, so I tracked everything in spreadsheets: date, amount, reason. I lived cheap, skipped trips, drove an old Honda, and built my down payment dollar by dollar. I wanted one normal house with a yard and a garden. Nothing flashy, just mine. I was finally close enough to make an offer. The cruel part? My father was still co-owner on that account because I trusted him since I was 17. At his birthday party, my parents played perfect family for 20 guests. My brother and my dad kept whispering, then looking at me, then looking away. My aunt pulled me aside and squeezed my hand. "You've given enough. Be careful." I smiled it off. 3 days later, I knew exactly what she meant. The bank confirmed the transfer was authorized by my father. Then they emailed the confirmation file with my electronic signature on it. I never signed anything. My father had used joint access, forged my identity, and moved my money to bail out my brother's debt and fund a new apartment. When I confronted him, he said, "Family money." I said, "You forged my signature." He said, "You're overreacting." I called my college friend, now a fraud attorney. He told me I had less than 72 hours to dispute. I got a digital forensic specialist at work to check metadata, different device, different IP, timestamp tray, 40 será, traced to my parents' house. She wrote a formal report. I gave my parents 24 hours to return every cent, or I would file criminal charges. They called me ungrateful. I filed anyway. Then the smear campaign started. My mother cried to relatives. My brother texted, "You're dead to me." My father called and said his banking reputation would crush me. Instead, the fraud team confirmed my evidence, froze accounts, and sent findings to police. The detective asked if I wanted a quiet arrest at home. I said no. They wanted an audience for the lie. They could have an audience for the truth. At the housewarming, 45 people packed into my brother's shiny new place, bought with my stolen future. My father gave speeches about hard work and smart investing. My aunt asked one question too loud to ignore: where did the down payment come from? The room went thin and silent. The bell rang. Then my father froze with his drink in hand. Next, my brother opened the door. 2 officers stepped inside behind the detective. Again, my mother yelled, "This is a private party." Then the warrant was read in a flat voice. Finally, the cuffs clicked, louder than the music. Guests peeled out fast. My uncle stared at my brother like he was a stranger. My mother sobbed on the designer couch. When I arrived, I put my evidence folder on the kitchen island and said, "I didn't destroy this family. I reported a crime." My brother tried. "Dad said you agreed." I answered, "I was asleep when he forged my name." No one had a reply. My father took a plea: probation, community service, full restitution. A separate $25,000 loan opened in my name was flagged as fraud and removed from my credit. The money came back into a new account in my name only. No co-owner, no exceptions. My brother had to sell that apartment at a loss, and suddenly all his friends got busy. My mother mailed me one of those fake apologies that starts with, "I'm sorry you felt hurt." I replied once, "When you can name what happened without excuses, we can talk." Months later, my brother asked to meet for coffee. He looked wrecked, spoke softly, almost convincing, right until he asked me to help reduce our father's legal pressure. That was the whole meeting. Not remorse, not repair, another request. I stood up and said, "Do not contact me again unless you want accountability, not favors." 6 months later, I signed for my house. Not the first one I wanted, a better one for the life I have now. My aunt brought roses for the garden on move-in night. I still get messages from people who were the family ATM and thought they were crazy for saying no. They're not crazy, and neither was I. If you've ever had to choose your peace over family pressure, drop a comment and tell me your moment.